To all who listen to this happy pod, welcome. My name is Noah Parker, and welcome to my world of wonder. Today I'm joined by my best friend and little sister, Loran.
Hello, I'm Loran. Great to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of family members on this podcast as guests, wives, or not wives, I only have the one. I
You
only
bringing
have
my
the
wife
one.
in? Don't tell him.
I won't tell him. But yeah, so today we wanted to take a bit of a tangent off of all of the Disney stuff that we've been doing so much of lately. I know that with this we're recording this on September 27th, but this podcast will be coming out following the podcast with the Ahsoka review and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be 3 weeks from when we're filming it right now, three episodes from now. So there's been a lot of Disney heavy stuff. So today we're taking a step back from Disney, and we're actually taking a dive into a pretty big part of my childhood, and I would say a pretty big part of your childhood as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And for you, part of your
Current
adult life, more so than mine.
Yeah.
Today we're going over our history of theater. Both of us are theater kids. She's still performing on stage. I have not had the opportunity recently to do it, but it's still an integral part of me being here where I am today. It's a big part of who I am. There's also a weekly fun fact that I was trying to start, and I keep forgetting it when I start recording because it's new.
All
So
right.
do you have a fun fact you want to share? It can be about you. It can be about not you.
What's a fun fact? Fun fact is that Noah and I do in fact actually work together. We see each other almost every single day.
That's true.
But we don't hang out.
Yeah.
So
Outside of work
kinda,
anyway. Except for like now. Like
yeah,
now
right now. But
we're
this is
hanging
like
out.
last time I saw him was actually when he moved into this house
outside
3
of
months
work.
ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, that's a fun fact.
Yeah,
that's
it's a
that's
fact.
why I call her my best friend and my sister, because
yeah.
she's my best friend.
Yeah, what can I say?
We spend a decent amount of time together at work.
At work.
But yeah, cool. So we're gonna just jump straight in to kind of how we got started. That's kind of our first talking point here. And we both actually really got started the same way, the same time.
Same exact show. Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy.
Most of the time, the same performances.
Yeah, I think I think back then it was pretty much all we were on the same.
I think so.
At least you and
I think
I.
it was pretty rare that we were not on this at the same time. But so I guess from a younger age, I performed in like church choir, and occasionally we would have like a Christmas special or a holiday, Christmas special that we would do, and I would perform in that. But that was I was using the term performing very loosely.
Yeah, I don't think I ever performed in those because I was too young
so.
by the time we stopped doing them at our church. So he has a little head start.
Yeah, not much though. It wasn't really acting going on there,
He was
but
just standing on the stage.
But it really came to us in 2009 when a friend of our mom's recommended. Well, the details of this are fuzzy because it was a long time ago.
I was 8. I don't remember how we got there at all.
Yeah, so one of my mom's friends that she went to high school with had been performing at this theater, a local dinner theater here in Longmont called the Jester's Dinner Theater. And Mom had started working as a social media consultant for them. I mean, she wasn't really working, I don't think.
She's kind of like helping them with it.
Yeah, she was helping them with their social media very heavily. And I remember going to see a show and then being encouraged to audition for a show.
Encouraged?
Yes.
I want to say it was Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
Yes.
Because I do remember seeing that. No.
Nutcrackers. It was Nutcrackers.
Oh, I might not have gone. That is a possibility.
Okay. Cool. Well, maybe. But so I went to go see Nutcrackers with my mom, and then we got convinced basically to audition for a show. So a few of my siblings and I auditioned for their annual performance of Scrooge.
Yes.
They put it on every December.
Well, except 2020.
But whatever. 2020 was a mess.
We had 2 in 2021.
Yes, that was awesome. But yeah, so we got encouraged to audition for that, and I auditioned singing Jingle Bells, and I'm pretty sure you did too.
I believe so. Yeah,
It was
I
my
think we
first
all were like,
audition.
because we didn't even know what to do for the audition.
Yeah, I didn't know what an
So
audition really was.
We walked
at that
in and we were
point.
like, "What do we do?" And he's like, "Just sing something." And we were like, "Jingle bells, jingle." I was really, really good as a 8-year-old child.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
8. Oh, I was 6. I was 6.
Yeah, because it was 09.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first show we did. I got cast as youngest Ebenezer. There's 3 different Ebenezers in the show. There's of course Ebenezer Scrooge, who is the main
Ebenezer.
the main character of the show. It's Ebenezer Scrooge, and then there's young Ebenezer, young Eb, as I don't know if that's like how he's called in the script. I don't remember.
I don't remember, no.
But young Eb is like a young adult Ebenezer Scrooge, kind of when he falls off the deep end in his life, and you kind of see who he became.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the youngest Ebenezer, and I was like a schoolboy, young child Ebenezer, and my only line in the entire show was "Home, young fat."
Yes, and I was urchin number 4 for 3 years straight, mind you. The oldest they capped that off is 6, but that's beside the point. I had 2 lines. It was
She outdid me on the first
get
show.
away from here, you scavengers, and then he's a
miser.
no, what is it? He's a scumbag. He's a rascal.
He's a skinflint.
He's a skinflint. That was it,
Yeah.
I think, or rascal. It was one of those 2. I've had both, so I get confused.
Fair enough.
Yes, throughout the years, I played every single of those urchins.
Yeah.
So.
For anyone who's not sure, an urchin is basically a homeless child.
Oh yes, I guess that's important information.
But yeah,
yeah.
I enjoyed that show a lot. It was our first taste of
I was going to
theater.
say it did something because we pretty much didn't stop for a long time after that.
Yeah, so in 09 we did that. There wasn't any shows that I did since then. I think, was that right after we started adoptions?
Yes, it was the same year.
So we were homeschooled, so we started doing the supplemental school
Yeah,
where we could be in choirs with other kids our age and in theater with other kids our age instead of just putting on little one-off shows in our living room that were poorly put together.
Watching movies and just copying what they're doing in the movie.
Yeah. And at that school, I was cast. We did that same. I think it was the next year.
Christmas Carol, though.
Yeah, we did a Christmas Carol. I can't remember if it was the same year or the next year.
That's a little fuzzy on me too.
I think it was the next year.
I think so.
And I was cast as Frank or something.
Yeah.
I was Ebenezer's best friend.
Oh, I didn't do a show that year.
Is a role that didn't really exist in Scrooge.
Yeah.
But that one was quite a bit different. But that gave me a different taste of what auditions are like. And those 2 shows catalyzed me into performing from then. So
yeah. And I think the next show we did was 101 Dalmatians, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, he played my dad.
Yeah, I played Pongo.
And
I was the dad dog.
I played Rolly.
Which was one of my 4 pups. Yes.
The best pup.
Good pup. That kind of carries us right on over into the second talking point, which is some of our most memorable roles. I was like starting to figure how far do we go into the beginning before we start talking about the memorable
But no,
ones.
that was a good little segue.
That was a very memorable role for me. It was my first
real show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not really a lead. As Pongo, I wasn't really a lead, but I was a lead-ish.
Yeah, you were kind of like a what is the word?
First supporting actor.
Yeah, like a supporting role. Because without you, wouldn't make sense.
Right.
But
so that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one a lot. I have good memories about that show and bad memories about that show.
Yeah, that show was a show.
It was most definitely a show.
They had there was only 4 Dalmatians, and all of us were under 10.
Yes.
None of us knew anything. We were all very confused the whole show. It was really funny. But yeah, that one is a good show. I think that one sticks out in my head just because it was such a bad show.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was memorable because it was still fun. I was 6.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was kind of crap. and like nothing ever was right, and he was whispering our lines to us through the curtain.
Right.
But it's one of those like
good old Scott.
Yeah, it's one of those your first like real show. Not that Scrooge is not a real show. If you're listening,
but
Scott.
I mean, yeah, no.
But it's it's one of
is.
those easy shows where it's just repetitive.
Yeah.
Once you do it once, you've got it down for.
They throw that show together in 3 rehearsals and then 3.
It's 2 rehearsals and 3 texts.
Oh, sorry, 2 rehearsals and 4 texts. Because they started
if they're
quadcasting.
Yeah, it depends on the cast, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when you that show you can throw together, and when you're an urchin or young Eb, your involvement is pretty minimal.
Pretty low. I think the only time we did that I was involved more than normal was in 2021, the COVID show, because we only had 13 people in the whole cast.
Right.
So I was an urchin and the soup buyer and this and that, and I was in basically everything. A lot of costume changes.
Yeah. Not easier, I guess. It's pretty challenging, but
it was really hard going from what was it? I want to say soup buyer into a school kid, because I had to do that part too.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of those. Oh, that's a quick change. Quick change.
Because I had to do, what is it called? This part.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though. We had to do that, and then that's when we run off to change into the school kids.
Right.
But that one, most of us had to do it anyway at some point, so I guess that one wasn't that bad.
Yeah. So what was your most memorable? We'll kind of touch on a few here, but what was your most memorable show you've done so far?
I would say one of the most memorable was Little Women.
Okay.
Because that was the first show that I was actually cast in like a leading role. I was Marmee, their mother, if you don't know. We got 2 big solos. I made Scott cry when I sang one of them, so it really makes you feel good when like you can see the director's actually proud of you, and
right. His, especially with Scott, because I mean he did watch you grow up.
Hard man, yeah. He watched me grow up from 6 years old too. I mean even now. Yeah. So. It's kind of crazy thinking about that, but yeah. So seeing someone that watched you grow up and like knew how bad you were for so long,
right? And
then like seeing giving you a role where you're singing solos. Oh God, I'm having brain farts. Yeah, it's just a good moment. And then after that, I would maybe say it's kind of a toss up. I would say Elf, because that one was like the first time that like I got cast in a good role by someone who didn't watch me grow up.
Right. It was less like...
It was like a complete stranger just gave me the leading female role.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, am I actually like kind of good? And then now he's my boyfriend. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, that wasn't a deciding factor.
No, that happened after I was cast. And then obviously I think The Scarecrow just finished that show. But that one... biggest role I've ever had, and it's a lot to be on stage, the whole show.
Yeah, I'm glad that I got to see that.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun to watch you fumble around the stage,
especially when I literally almost fell on you.
Yeah, and that mic pack moment scared the crap out of me, because I thought you broke the mic pack. There's this moment where she like does a somersault, and I guess normally they mute your mic.
They're supposed to, but they were delayed, so they muted it during my line instead of the roll.
So yeah, she does this roll, and they didn't mute her mic pack, and she landed almost square on it. It sounded like
I landed flat on my back, and it crunched under me. That's why I was so freaked out, because I could hear it, and I was like,
and then when you spoke, and like you said, they muted your mic at that point. I was like, oh God, she broke it.
Yeah, exactly, because they muted it late. So when I stood up or when I like said my line, it was off, and I was like, fuck, I really broke it. Sorry, Mom. Beep. Beep.
Anyway.
But yeah, what are your most memorable shows? I kind of just stole the thunder.
No, you're good. Yeah. That's the whole idea here.
Yeah, I guess
we're just talking. So.
I don't know how to talk to people like this, so I'm like, do I talk? Do you talk?
We both talk. We just take turns and we take our time. Like I said, we need this to be at least 30 minutes.
That is true. I can make that happen. I will ramble.
Let's go. Yeah. So I'll get my most memorable one second, but one of my most memorable ones was when I did Les Miserables as a youth production. Yeah. First of all, Les Miserables is a wonderful show. I enjoy it a lot. The movie that they made was not my favorite. I prefer watching the Broadway cast. Yeah, and even
listening to it on iTunes or whatever. The movie cast is just good. You can tell it's from a movie. Yeah, and it just makes musicals kind of.
The other thing about the movie is they reorganized things a little bit, because it makes sense for a movie for them to be in a certain order.
Yeah.
And it's not how it goes on stage.
Yeah, so it gets all confusing.
Yeah, but I played first thing you see, I'm one of the prisoners. So I'm one of the guys singing at the very intro.
Hi ho.
Basically.
Had to bring it in.
So that was like the first role, and then the second role you see me playing is a sailor for the naughty scene.
I was the naughty.
No, actually before that I was the foreman.
Oh.
So I was a prisoner, and then I was the foreman
for the workers.
For the workers.
Yeah.
I'm the person who tells
Fontaine.
Thank you. My brain.
Just use a.
Yeah, I basically tell her to get lost, and I'm
Yeah.
the one who fires her. That leads her into the scene where I play the sailor in the naughty scene.
Were you the one that she like hooks up with?
No.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that would have been
I don't remember
hilarious.
I think that was probably Guy.
Yeah. I never saw it. Mom wouldn't let me.
That's understandable.
Yeah, but then I was in it. I think I was the same age as you
Probably.
when I was in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah. So after that, then I became
Honduras?
No, Grantier.
Grantier.
Or Gunther, depending on who's pronouncing it. But yeah, Grantier, who is Enjolras' right-hand man.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to be Enjolras, but I got to be right up there with him. I got a couple solos. I got to be drunk.
Yeah.
Not actually, my character was drunk, so I had to pretend to be drunk.
Unless.
How convincing was it? Probably not at all, but
I'm pretty good at it, pretending to be drunk.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one a lot. And then I was Grantier all the way through the end of the show. So that was one of my most memorable. But probably the one that
I feel like
there's two, I guess.
I was going to say there's
really
two that I can't tell
lot.
which one you're going to go with, but I think I know which ones you're thinking.
Well, you probably know both of the ones I'm thinking. But I'm going to go with when I played Beast in Beating the Beast.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
I was not
what were the
thinking
two you were thinking?
I was thinking either High School Musical or Seussical.
Seussical was the second one.
Yeah. I knew Seussical
High School Musical was
a
fun show.
Yeah,
and
I
I got
guess
to play Chad.
Yeah.
But
well, you look a little
sticks out
different
in
than
my
Chad.
It sticks out in my memory a lot, that show. But it's not like on my top.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's my top 5, but it's probably number 5 on my top 5.
Okay.
But yeah, I played Beast in my supplemental school's production of Beauty and the Beast, and that one probably sticks out the most for me because of kind of what we've been talking about already, the things that have made our roles stick out before this.
Yeah.
It was the first time I was cast as a lead. Like, I was a main character.
That one definitely, like, the lead roles are definitely, like, easily most memorable.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
There's other ones where I wasn't a lead, where I'm like, that was a freaking fun show to do.
Yeah. No, like Les Mis, like, I would agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine was really fun.
Which, I guess I literally just talked about that. I wasn't really a main character. I was definitely a supporting second-hand character that wasn't super important to the story. But that one sticks out as like one of the top 2. And then so being Beast was awesome. I got to put on makeup. It's the first and only time I've worn prosthetics.
Oh, they put prosthetics on
Yeah,
you?
I had a nose. I don't think I have any pictures of it, but I might have a picture of it, but
okay.
I'll post that on the Instagram. So if you guys aren't following on Instagram, follow it over there. So yeah, they put a prosthetic on my nose, and then they made my whole face look like
ugly?
It was matted in fur.
Oh.
But I didn't have like fur. It was just makeup.
They were like, this is fur.
Yeah. And it was convenient because I had a very fluffy head at that time.
Yeah, no, that is true.
But yeah,
it was real long.
I enjoyed that show a lot. I think the only reason it doesn't stick out as like my favorite show that I've done is because all the shows we did through the supplemental school, we had one performance.
Yeah, and that really just...
It was months of build up and rehearsal, and then all of a sudden you're like,
which
okay,
is great because the productions were really strong that we were putting on.
Yeah, we were putting on some pretty high quality performances.
I guess I can't say the same about me. I was a child. Ours were not good.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, when I was in Les Mis, I wouldn't say it was necessarily one of my most memorable shows. Because that was, well, I mean, it was memorable, but not in a good way. Because that's the show that I was told that I looked like I was giving up on life when I was, in fact, giving up on life.
Oh.
Not specifically something you want to hear when you
when
through.
you're kind of going through it. That's probably the last thing you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I was a worker, and then I was like one of the prisoners. I was a prisoner.
Okay.
And then I was one of the working women.
Okay.
And then I was one of the naughty girls. I actually had that solo, the
Come on,
dearie, what's the rush? Yeah, that's
Okay.
that one. I had that. Got a lot of mean things said to me, about me backstage to our sister, actually. Which, I was not good, but doesn't mean you need to talk smack about it.
Right.
Especially in the theater. Like, go tell your friends, I don't care, but, like, don't say it to castmates. It's kind of...
That's pretty jacked up.
And then from that, we went into a schoolboy.
Okay.
And they put me as a bass. I don't know why. And then got mad that I couldn't hit the solo in that because it was bass notes.
Yeah.
And this was even before I could hit the notes that I can hit now. So
wow.
I was like, okay. And then I died on stage. And then, that was it. It was a schoolboy for the rest of the show.
Nice.
Got to carry Fontaine. No, what's her name? Eponine off stage.
Eponine.
Because they didn't trust anyone else. They
hard.
all trusted me to help carry them off more than anyone else in the show.
That's fair.
Which is hilarious because I was like, I'm not that strong, y'all.
Right.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, let's jump on down. We'll hit our next topic here, which is your favorite roles. Which, like I said before, I kind of expect some of these to be the same that we've already talked about. Let's do our top 5.
Hashtag not spawns.
Yeah, right. Let's do our top 5 favorite roles. We'll bounce back and forth. This is impromptu here, but
this is gonna be hard. Let's see. Okay.
It doesn't have to be in order.
Okay.
It can just be pick 5 of your favorites, and then we'll talk about each one of them.
Okay. We're gonna start with number 1. I don't know if I have 5 roles. Number 1, I would have to say Marmy because that show, like, just the basis of the show, when you're playing the mother, like, you get close to the other actors that are your children. Like, we got pretty close. I don't really talk to any of them now. I talk to one of them still. She actually adores me, but it's Emma.
Okay.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
No last names. We're good.
Yeah. One of the Emmas, you'll never find her.
Right.
But yeah, I got to connect with her. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Make that your next one.
Yeah, I remembered in the show. I completely forgot. It should have been in one of the memorable shows.
Okay.
I forgot about it.
That's fine.
But it's okay.
We can hit that whenever you want. It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, probably one of my top 5 most memorable roles would be...
It's favorite roles, not memorable.
Oh, sorry. One of my top 5 favorite roles was when I played Benny South Street.
Oh,
Was I Benny South Street? What's the other guy's name? Benny South Street and not Nathan.
Not Sky.
No.
Johnny.
Oh boy, why can't I remember? I'm pretty sure it was Benny South Street.
Yeah, because Jordan was the other one.
No.
No?
No, John was the other one. Well, hold on a second.
There's Benny South Street.
I don't know why I can't think of this.
Nicely, you definitely didn't play
yes.
him.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I was Benny South Street. John was Nicely Johnson.
John.
Yeah, we were hanging out pretty much a lot. We got pretty close during that show, and then, of course, after the show ended, we weren't anymore.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
But Guys and Dolls is one of my favorite shows in general. Probably that and The Producers and Les Mis kind of sit at the top 3.
I forgot I was in Guys and Dolls, too. I just don't.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Guys and
so
Dolls
many.
is a fun show.
I got to be a stripper again.
They're not strippers. They're just dancers.
We were stripping.
Minus that part. But yeah, Benny South Street was a fun role because I did lights for that show at Jester's.
Yeah.
Long before I ever was in it.
Because it was when Raylan was in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doing
That's
the
our
lights,
sister.
I enjoyed a lot. She'll be on this show soon. Don't worry about it. You'll meet her soon. But doing the lights for that show, I remember really enjoying, and then actually getting to be in it was way more enjoyable than being in the light booth.
Yeah, that one is such a fun show if it's done well.
I think that was probably number 5 on my top 5 favorite roles.
Okay.
But it's right up there near the top. I think if I had played Sky, which I don't have the face for, or even if I played Nicely.
You would have. You could have done so good with that.
Johnson. I love that his song, "Rockin' the Boat." That's a good one. Cool. Well, what's your next one?
Okay. I completely forgot about this show, but I was actually in The Foreigner in 2019.
That sounds right.
It was either 2019 or 2020 in that break where COVID kind of almost didn't exist, and then it came right back.
Right.
I think it was 2020. There weren't many of us in the cast, and those of you who don't know Foreigner, it's a straight play. So there's no music because I also don't know that. Just look up the play because I don't want to explain the whole plot right now. But I played Ellard, which is the main girl's little brother, and I don't necessarily think that my character was like mentally disabled in any way specifically, but like he was just like really stupid. Okay. And throughout the show, I was convinced that I was teaching this foreigner who wasn't really a foreigner how to speak English because he knew how to speak English, but let me play along like I was teaching him how to speak English. So it was kind of that whole thing. It was a really fun show. The whole cast was pretty great. Yeah.
Nice.
There's a really funny bit. I'm gonna send Noah a clip of the video because it needs to be put in somewhere.
Okay. We'll get it on something.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Okay. Avery love Avery.
Right on. I think my next one would be.
We're at 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Wait, I think there's only 2 actually.
There's 2 for you. I'm thinking about my third one.
Yeah, okay.
I gotta preach that.
You're good. No, it was when I played Horton in Seussical.
For sure.
That one is definitely up there. That one might be the top, but I don't know for sure. I'm kind of, I don't really have a specific order for them, but at the supplemental school, once again, we did a performance of Seussical, the musical, which is an amazing show based on the book Horton Hears a Who, but it's told a little bit differently. But I was gonna say
it adds another book in there a little bit, but I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I got to play Horton, and in that show, Horton is kind of a lead role, but also kind of not. It's like the most in between you can get. Like, yeah, it's like being the lead, but like you're a step below the lead. Yeah, because like, but you're not like support. Like you're definitely.
Yeah, it's like almost like when there's like the male and female lead, but the male is like the lead, but then the female's like, she's here too, but she does a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of how it feels. Yeah. But so I enjoyed that a lot. I got a bunch of solos in that, which I love to sing, and I love to sing solo.
Every day at work.
Yeah. So, or duets. Duets are fun.
Duets are really fun, especially
the ones. Sorry.
I was gonna say when we do it, we get pretty into it, guys.
Oh yeah.
You should see it sometime.
It's so
Stop by DQ.
Heck yeah.
Live on Saturday nights.
But
can we do that?
We could make that a thing. Why not?
For the cruise nights, be like, Janice, we're actually gonna stand outside and sing.
Right. Yeah. But I think that is on my top 5 for favorite roles because of the duet that Horton has with JoJo.
Yeah. I love
which
that.
Is called Alone in the Universe.
We've sang that a couple times. We're pretty good at it.
It's such a good song. We might record a cover of that one.
I was gonna say we've got to record a cover of something.
Yeah. There's that camera dying. Excellent timing because I was about to move on to the next one. So
okay.
There's a number of different songs we could do covers up, but that one could be a good first one. Yeah. We're gonna take a brief pause so I can get camera 1 rolling again. Give us just a couple moments.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we're at 3.
Yes, we're at 3 and we're back now. So let's what you got?
I don't want to like use all the same ones that I said for memorable shows, but like,
that's okay.
Obviously if it's memorable, it's gonna be one of your favorites. So
yeah.
I would definitely say Jovi in Elf was one of my favorite roles. Because, it's one of those shows where, like, you're a lead and you're very important to the story, but you're not on that much.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice. Compared to what I'm doing now, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I bet.
Didn't have to do anything because in the director's eyes, I was a weak, fragile little girl who couldn't pick anything up. He learned very quickly that is, in fact, not the case. But, yeah, I just kind of messed around backstage a lot because I wasn't on.
Right.
Judged a lot of people. No, I'm just kidding. You guys were great in that show.
Naturally.
Except.
As you do in most shows, to be honest.
Yeah, you kind of watch, you're like, you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I'm the worst.
Why are you singing it like that? Open your mouth.
Right.
Don't sing through your nose.
Right.
No, definitely not for that show. I never once thought that.
No.
I'm never had any professional training, so I really can't judge. However, arguably, some people who have had professional training waste of money.
Fair enough. Cool. Actually, ironically enough, that kind of tags into, like, kind of what you're talking about. Tags into my number 3, which was when I played Chad.
Okay, because it's kind of that same kind of vibe.
The same vibe where you're not the lead, you're not just supporting, but you're mainly supporting. But I was
like
not
you're
on stage
classified as a lead.
as much, and
like,
I did not have very fast, like, wardrobe changes. Like, I pretty much wore the same thing the entire show. But yeah, so kind of going back to like what you're talking about, like with like judging people and stuff.
Yeah, no, you kind of get like
there was that show when I played Chad. Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor was my girlfriend. Her name wasn't Taylor, but Taylor is Chad's girlfriend in High School Musical. That's fine. We're almost done.
Oh.
Kind of.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. So Chad and Taylor go together, and so the girl that played Taylor, well, one of them, I think there was 2.
I think so.
But one of them, her and I were like, because I'm a drummer, like you guys heard in that podcast with Rick, I'm a drummer. So my timing, it's not perfect. Don't let me make you think I have perfect timing, but it's pretty solid. And I was a drummer before I was an actor. And so there were several times in that show where we would come in for a group number, but we come in like a third of the way through the song. And the first like 4 nights that we did that show, we were having to interrupt wherever the other people were because they got so far behind. And so like, I wasn't, it's like, I'm not judging you guys, but you're way off.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like that. Like, you're not judging, but you're like, bro,
right?
Learn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, that's how a lot of people feel about me right now during this show that I'm in, but...
I've never seen you do a show. Like, yeah, you're not necessarily like...
But I figure it out eventually.
As early as everyone else.
Oh, Lord, no.
You're almost always
by
squared
the show,
away by the time the show opens.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's something about pressure that really...
Yeah, which is crazy because like I have literally learned almost this entire script in less than a week.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, I have like maybe 20 lines.
But still.
But I have 3 songs and 2 of them are really fast and sound the same but are completely different songs. Like they aren't even about the same thing at all, but they sound the same. Like they have that same backing
melody.
track basically.
Yeah.
Like it's the same.
Okay.
And I've learned that whole thing in one of the songs is 7 minutes.
That's a long song.
Yeah. And I've learned all of it in less than a week. And I'm like, if I would just like make myself do this sooner, imagine how great it could be.
Fine-tuning in this week instead of learning it in
but
this week.
I just, girl, I don't have time. I was doing 3 shows at once for 2 weeks straight, plus working full time.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
We'll get more in depth in that soon.
Yes, we're getting there.
Yes.
Oh, it's my turn.
Oh yeah. I forgot you hadn't just talked about one.
We're only at 3.
4. This is your 4th. We got 2 more.
Wait, what did I say? Oh, no. What did I say? Jovi. Yeah.
Yeah, Jovi was your last
Okay,
one.
Yeah. Keep that in, please.
Okay. Lauren's falling asleep.
Not for any spoilers, but I will say one of my favorite roles is definitely the one that I am currently working on, which is Tobias in Sweeney Todd.
Ooh.
Yes.
See,
and
we've reached a show that I have never seen before.
Yes.
And the only context I have on the show at all, aside from what you've given me over the last couple of weeks, is what they put in The Office. when Andy is in it.
Yeah, because I've given you like a little bit here and there, but I'm really trying not to like fully tell you much.
I'm excited.
It's a crazy show. It's a Sondheim. Yeah. It's like the guy who wrote Into the Woods. Right. So it's like that kind of it's kind of music.
Always good music. It's good stuff.
I'm glad you knew what that was because I was like, what's a Sondheim? And they're like, it's the guy who writes it. And I was like, oh, he's a writer.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one it's challenging me a lot more than
that's good.
Any show I've seen.
That's fun, right?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Good.
Like I'm doing it.
I like shows that are challenging.
It's definitely like very different to an extent. I will say I'm supposed to be like pretty stupid, which I'm really good at that. But towards the end, it gets
typecasting.
Literally, bro. But towards the end, yeah, it gets. You're not ready for it.
Oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited for sure.
Edgar's coming on Halloween.
Oh, I guess I know when I'm coming.
Do it.
Yeah. Cool. So my number was that. Sorry.
4.
You were good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My number 4. I got to reach for this one a little bit. Let's see. We might stop after 4. We might not do 5.
I was going to say, I have one that I could pull, but I don't know if it technically counts.
Let's go for it then. Let's do the 5. I would put in my next slot, I guess when I played young Ebb in Scrooge more recently. Yeah. The last time I was in Scrooge, I played young Ebb. So like I talked about earlier, there's youngest Ebb, who's the child, and then there's young Ebb, who's a young adult. And I remember,
down, 1 to go.
Right? I remember when I was in the original one in 2009, I remember being like, someday I want to be the next one.
Yeah.
And then I got to do it. And there's a really fun scene, or really sequence. I guess it's not so much a scene. It's like several scenes. Where you really go through Ebenezer's life really, really quickly, where he goes from being happy-go-lucky working in this one guy's counting house to now he runs his own counting house and he's a bitter old man.
Yeah, but like a young adult,
but a young
bitter
adult,
man.
bitter young adult man, I guess.
Bitter young adult.
And his fiance leaves him, and
#
he doesn't
relatable.
chase her. And
Just
I'm
kidding,
like,
guys.
Imagine how much different his life would have been if
he
chased Isabel out the door.
If he had just looked at her, bro, even.
Yeah.
You know, just like a...
Yeah, because that was an important guidance from our director is like, don't look at her.
Yeah.
You have to brush her off basically the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And for a couple times, it was really easy to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Young Ebb is up there on one of my favorite roles.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to pull one out of my ass, but...
No, that one's fine.
But I'm gonna go with a show that I have done already and not a future show.
Okay.
But I would definitely say the quartet in Music Man was one of my favorite roles. That one is definitely one of those roles where like you are not a lead, and if you were not in that show, it really would not matter at all. But you're in the show so much.
Yeah.
And like you kind of carry the show in like a weird way.
Yeah.
Like if their quartet wasn't there, it wouldn't affect the story at all.
No.
But having the quartet just adds
obvious,
that.
I think. Yeah.
It's just
it's a nice sprinkle. It's like the cherry on the top of the ice cream. It just finishes off.
Got to mess around with 6 adult men while I was one of the only 2 girls in the quartet. It was pretty fun. I actually get to play love interest with one of the guys who helped me figure out my part because the girl did not know what to do.
That's fun.
Yeah, I was the low tenor.
Nice.
He was the high tenor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. But I could hit the notes and he couldn't. So
even more hilarious.
Which, makes this show a little bit scary that's coming up.
That was a good show to watch. I've always loved Music Man. That was a show that I got to be in when I was younger, but I didn't get to play any significant role.
Yeah.
But ironically, that one probably sits at number 5 for me. I played just a kid in Music Man. But the reason that show or that role was one of my favorites is because I got to play a trombone on stage and I don't know how to play the trombone.
It's really fun. I don't think they didn't give me an instrument. No. They didn't let me play one.
They didn't give the littler kids instruments.
Because I was probably 6. I think I turned 7 during that show, actually.
Yeah.
Or
I just
during
had another
rehearsal.
one that came to mind that's an honorable mention, I guess.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll throw this one out there because this is one that I forgot, but it actually was one of the most fun that I did. And it was when I played Rapunzel's dad in Let Your Hair Down, Rapunzel, which is a super niche musical about Rapunzel. Yeah. We did it as a class at Jester's, and I was brought in as we couldn't get enough guys interested, and we need an extra body. Yeah. And I was the oldest, so I got to be the dad.
Yeah, that was a really good show.
I freaking loved that show, and I don't know what it was about it, but it was amazing.
Yeah, no, that one was a good one.
It was just fun. I think it was
just
mainly
thought of a show and I
so
forgot.
much energy.
Oh, I can give an honorable mention.
Yeah, go for it.
I was in Catch Me If You Can the beginning of this year. I was just ensemble, but for those of you who don't know, which is probably a lot, Catch Me If You Can is supposed to have a 30-member ensemble, not including any like solos at all. Just the ensemble is supposed to have 30 people. We had 12 people in our entire cast. Jeez. So there was 6 ensemble people, 3 girls, 3 boys.
Yeah.
So we were there was a lot. I don't know if you got to see that one.
I didn't get to see that one. I didn't think
so. But it was pretty fun. I got to sing. I had a few solos in that one. And yeah, that one was pretty good. It was a crazy show. There were so many costume changes because we played so many different roles.
Yeah, I
So
bet.
this leotard I'm wearing actually is from the show because we needed something to wear that we weren't going to flash everyone when we were changing costumes.
Good move.
Because we had to do it backstage every single time.
Heck yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's funny how we were both like struggling to come up with 5, and then as
Yeah,
soon as
we're
we
like,
got
we
through
got
5,
6.
we're like another 6, 7, 8, 9.
10. Well, let's just name every show.
Right. But yeah, so that was some of our favorite roles.
Yeah. Definitely.
Some I don't know what order mine go in. If I listen back to the podcast, maybe I'd sort them.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe you can like listen back and tell me what ones I said, and then we can like you can like pop it up. If the podcast isn't good enough.
I don't do that much in-depth editing on this show.
Okay.
It's pretty much just straight cutting and that's it.
Cutting out all the words I say.
Yes. Yeah. So cool. We'll move on to our second to last talking point here.
Okay.
And it's actually technically our last talking point that's on topic. The next one is strictly pod related. So but yeah, so it's basically what are you doing now? I'll go first just because mine is super simple.
Shorter?
Yeah, mine's short and to the point. Basically, I'm a full-time manager of a Dairy Queen right now, and I'm starting a podcast, and I don't have as much free time as I would like to be able to do theater shows right now. Hopefully in the future soon I'll be able to get on the stage again.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I've been off the stage since like 2019.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
Yeah. Sad.
2019?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think Scrooge 2019 was the last one I did.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So what are you up to?
I am up to so much right now. So I am a full-time assistant manager at a Dairy Queen. I was his boss for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Literally a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was
That's probably a couple months.
Because it was October to May. So
April.
So, yeah, a few months. I am currently at a different theater. I'm not at Jester's anymore.
Yeah, well, that's a whole topic, but
that's a whole podcast.
We could briefly just mention that Jester's set to close.
Is working on closing. They are having trouble selling it, and there's just like a lot of little details that makes it really hard for them to sell too.
Yeah, and so they're like, well, if we can't sell it yet, we might as well.
They might as well still make money, kind of thing, which makes sense.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, but I am at a different theater here in Longmont. And yeah, I've done every single one of the shows that they've opened, and currently, well, except the like teen and kids shows, I directed there for a little bit. And yeah, currently we just closed Wizard of Oz a couple weeks ago.
Fabulous
2 weeks ago.
Show.
2 weeks ago, actually. This weekend, Sweeney Todd opens. That's where I'm heading after this. We have our last tech rehearsal. So that'll be really fun. Definitely not scary.
Yeah.
And then after so Sweeney Todd's going up, and we just started rehearsals for Sound of Music, where I am playing.
Who are you playing in Sound of Music?
I actually am playing just like a small little role, not really important, but her name's Maria.
Oh, she's like one of those nuns.
Yeah, she's one of the nuns in the beginning.
Okay.
She's like the stupid one who's not with them for some reason, and like out in the field frolicking.
Leaves?
Yeah, she leaves at some point. I don't know.
Weird.
I don't fully know the whole show, so
like
I'm not really.
The story follows her at all. Like
I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure it's it's about like the nuns singing, right?
I thought, well, yeah, because Sound of Music.
Sound of Music, and the nuns sing. Yeah. So yeah, I think I just kind of like one of those random characters who just pops in and out.
For anyone not picking up on the sarcasm, Loran is playing the lead role.
Yes, Maria. What's her last name?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It becomes Von Trapp later, but it's not.
But yes, Maria from the Von Trapp family. If you don't know anything about that, don't do your research before seeing the show, because it does not add up. I don't know if you are aware of this.
No.
Oh my God, the storyline in the show is so off from the true story.
Oh.
Like, obviously, like Maria being a nun and being sent to take care of these kids.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
However, they got married 10 years before they fled Austria. Austria? I don't know. Y'all, I'm not good with all this stuff. I just learned about this. But yeah, they were married for 10 years before.
Wow.
And in the show, I don't know how well you remember the Sound of Music.
Not super great. I remember the songs more than the story.
In the show, there's this guy called Max, and it's supposed to be
that's
Georg's best friend.
Oh, okay.
Right? And he's the one that like teaches the kids how to sing, and then they go to the music festival thing.
Okay.
He's not a real person.
Weird.
At all.
Okay.
It was really like the guy, Franz, who is their butler.
Interesting.
In the show, was actually the guy who taught it, and he's like his right-hand man on the ship for Georg. So that part was really weird, but I'm like, okay. And then you find out there's actually 9 children, not 7.
Oh.
And all of their ages are just absolutely wrong.
Oh. And
it gets better. Liesel, she never fell in love with a Nazi.
But that's like the whole...
No, yeah, and she was like 30.
Well, yeah.
She was the same age as Maria.
Going on 30. That doesn't flow as well, so I can understand that.
Like, those little things make sense, but like there was just so much that like, girl, what?
That's so weird.
Because, yeah, like they were married for a while. And like the thing is, like they do the festival, and that distracts them, and then they run away.
Okay.
The Von Trapp family. But that's not how that even went.
Weird.
Oh, and it says that they had to run across the hill in the script. Like, that's the thing. Again?
Apparently.
All right.
No, it shouldn't have, but it did. So, give us a brief... Well, you know what? No, that one's kind of important. Okay. So, hold on.
So, I believe I know where we left off, hopefully. My guess is right.
If not, it'll just overlap a little bit.
Yeah. But so in the script, they flee... I think it's Austria, to like New Zealand or something. And they allegedly literally just go over the hill that's in their backyard and whoop, they're there. But like they had to like run this hill, right? Like they had to run away, right?
Can't be going to New Zealand then.
Yeah. Sorry guys, I did not pass geography. I was homeschooled.
Maybe we'll look it up afterwards because I could be wrong too. But anyway.
I don't know. It's definitely not New Zealand. It's like, I don't know, because they were leaving because the Nazis were taking over Austria.
Right.
So they leave. But in actuality, literally, because like it's like this big dramatic escape. They like run up the hill. Like this in the movie, like there's like they like running through the hills to get away.
Right.
They literally got on a train in their backyard.
Oh, low key though, that's kind of awesome.
It wasn't like their backyard, but like right behind their house. They just got on a train and went to like this place and then went to this place. That's and then dope. Freaking, I don't remember his name, but it was like the fourth in command of the Nazis. Mm-hmm. He used the Von Trapp house as a vacation home until he died.
Oh. That took a turn.
Yeah.
Wow. So long story short, you're gonna be in Sound of Music. Yeah. What are you doing next? Do you know what's on your docket next?
I want to say the next show after that is either Seussical or it's No Exit, which is also...
Seussical might be when Noah makes room in his schedule. Because I would love to be in that again, especially if I could get cast as Horton again.
Wait, you might be able to.
Oh, that'd be dope. Kind of have to... Well,
if you had like a
we'll
double,
later.
It would be a lot easier.
We can talk later, but...
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah.
Well, there you go.
I believe those are the next shows. I don't remember for sure.
On. Well, is there anything you want to say to our audience? I ask everyone, and everyone's like, nope.
Thanks for having me, guys.
There you go. That's something. I'll take it. Right on.
Forget me when I'm gone.
Yeah, she'll be back soon. We have plans for other podcasts soon with Loran. I've got probably the next 3 months worth of podcasts.
I'm sorry planned. I keep putting my mouth all over this too. Whoever's next, don't put your mouth on this.
I have extras. There's a different one for every guest, actually. No, not really. That'd be cool. But anyway, we appreciate you guys listening. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Castbox, I don't know if Castbox does it, but Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you follow the pod, give it a rating so that people will see that you like the show and they will start listening to it as well. Yes. Share it with your friends and family. We're on those 3 platforms, like I said. And then there's also the video version on YouTube, which, some of you are watching right now. If you're listening and you're not watching, you can find the video version on YouTube by typing at Noah Parker _channel in the search bar. That'll take you to our channel. Make sure that it's the one that's got like the blue circle that says the Noah Parker channel in it. There's probably 500 other people out there who are named Noah Parker who also have a YouTube channel. Yeah. So just make sure it's the blue circle one. And you can follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Noah Parker's World of Wonder. And we're also on Instagram with the YouTube channel, but that one's less important. But it's at Noah Parker _channel, just like the YouTube channel, but on Instagram. And I think that about sorts out the housekeeping. Thanks for joining me today, Loran.
Thanks for having me, Noah.
I don't know what next week's podcast is just yet, but as soon as we get there, we hope you guys join us. And until then, let the wonder take hold.